needed to do something different today to get me out of this winter whole doldrum, this winter blues. I needed to snap myself out of it. I needed to do something different and make a change. And I saw the snow this morning and the diamond look of the snow, and I knew right away that that was going to be my inspiration this morning. I didn't know exactly how, but I knew that I needed to get outside, take a look at it, enjoy it, the sun is shining, and do something unexpected. And that's exactly what I did, and it brought me so much joy that it inspired this piece. And that's what this whole process is about inspiring our joy. Well, hello loves, and happy Sunday to you. So far I am having an adventure, or I'm starting an adventure, I should say. I'm doing something really different today because I was sparked with some creativity because of the video that you've already seen, the snow. My husband even said this morning, he's like, it's that snow that sparkles like diamonds. And that caused me to go outside and break this kind of winter dread feeling. And I think right after the New Year's, it can always be hard. And it's just kind of this thing. And for us here, winter can be, this is like the longest section of kind of a hard winter. So we know we've got months of this stuff. So it can really weigh on you, and it can really, like, that winter depression is a real thing. And so I wanted to choose to snap myself out of that. And that was going outside and appreciating and noticing. That's part of this adventure walk this year, is that noticing. So I had something else planned, and I'm kind of combining the two, and we'll see what happens. So let's take a look. So I have out here, this is a 16, let's see, I have it right here, 16 by 20. It's gesso board. It's just a birch wood, like a panel that has been gessoed. And I have laid down some papers. Now, originally, I was planning on doing something more abstract grungy. And so I had grabbed this stack of papers that I keep in a clipboard that hangs on my wall. And it had just a bunch of grungy things in there. And so I already had those out. I had everything ready to go and was going to talk about something else and do something else. And then this morning happened, and I was like, okay, I'm still going to use some of them. I didn't use the most grungiest ones because I just didn't know how it was going to go with now my thought process of what I want to create. But I decided, you know what? I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to put the papers down that aren't quite as grungy and see what happens. I'm taking an adventure right here. I had a lot of plans for things that I was going to experience and then translate that into art, starting for this year and for my adventure, my Word of the Year adventure. Well, of course, nature has its own mind made up, and I am not a winter person. I'm better, like by 1,000, but I grew up in the Southwest. My whole life was spent in Arizona. It was sunshiny every single day. I mean, we moved around a little bit, but it was still in the Southwest or in the western part of the United States. So experiencing these kinds of winters is a whole new kind of thing. So we've been here long enough that I'm used to it. I don't wear long johns under my clothes every single day now. But still, winter is hard. And so, but I want to celebrate it today. I want to snap myself out of that lull of yuck and make a choice to dive into this piece and create something spectacular. And I don't know what that looks like yet. I have ideas, but I just have no idea where this is going to go. But I'll talk through some of the inspiration and everything like that, and then we'll see what happens. So I've put my papers down already, and I really kind of smoothed them out because I wanted somewhat of a smoother surface, because I'm going to have a lot of fluid happening on here is my idea. I have lots of acrylic inks out. I have a lot of acrylic inks out. And so once I put my first layer down, which I am going to brayer out, I'm going to use my brayer for my first layer and kind of push these papers back. Then I want to use my acrylic inks and kind of let some things flow in here. I'm also going to do some mark making in probably my first layer as well, and let the paint kind of mix in with it. I really want to be free today and just say, I'm going to try this. Let's see what happens. See if I can, pull all of this together somehow. So then, that was kind of my first thought with some of the grunginess, but with more texture. And then I saw the sparkly diamonds this morning and the snow, and we finally have sun, and it's just so beautiful when it hits the sun. I was like, okay, shift. I want to shift. I want to capture this. And so, I'm going to go a little lighter, a little softer, maybe. Sometimes I don't do soft very well. And so a little lighter, a little flowier. And then I thought, how do I capture the diamonds? Like, how do I really convey that? So I start going through all my drawers, and I found my mica powders. So I'm going to throw some of these in there. I've got some really fun, so this is Crystal White, Bubble Bath Pink. It's really soft pink. Bubble Gum, Ballerina Glow, and Pearl White. And I'm going to, in this kind of flowy mixture of some of my acrylics, I think, everything is subject to change, I'm going to throw some mica powder in there and see if I can get some sparkle, reflection, metallic kind of feel to represent those diamonds that I saw in the snow today. I probably will be using, I've got some muted gray, which is kind of a purpley gray color. It's really, really pretty. And if I combine that with some white, I've got some neutral gray. I've got some Prussian blue. I'm thinking about the snow and the kind of the values and the different variations in the snow. So kind of grays, whites, and then I'm most likely throw in some raw umber. And I've got some muted pink. It's kind of a dulled down pink in there. I even have a little bit of deep violet. Those colors kind of feel like winter to me. I could throw in another color too, you never know. And then as far as paints go, I want to be using gesso in my black and white, and then probably some unbleached titanium and some Titan buff. Two variations, so I've got white, Titan buff, and then unbleached titanium to kind of mix in this mixture. And then I'm not exactly sure what other color I will bring in as far as paint goes. But I was thinking about some high flow, and I have some, this is, and sometimes cold can feel purple or blue. And this is Southern Ocean blue, and it's got a real teal blue color to it. This is like a high flow. It's very similar to ink, but it's got a little bit more substance to it. So I was thinking about, and I looked through my high flow colors and I didn't see a ton that really resonated with me as far as what I was thinking. So we'll see as I get down the road. I told you I was going to brayer my first layers. That's my plan anyway. And then I want to do some pushing and pulling with the inks. I want to be able to kind of move some things around and let them kind of dry. I also was thinking about using some of my soft pastels, like scraping them off into, see how I'm getting that flecking down onto my piece here, of using that, in with the inks and some flowiness, and let some of that speckly kind of happen, because that's, I'm thinking about that as far as the snow. So that's kind of my vision for this. I'm not exact. I really, really don't have any clue as to how this is going to go, but I'm willing to take the risk and go on this adventure. Okay, loves. So that is my plan. And really, my whole goal is to do something different. And sometimes I know for me, I have found whenever I'm in a slump, and I'm not in a slump creatively, but we have had gray skies for weeks now, and it really takes a toll on your soul. It's like, please, I need some sun, and I feel like a wilted flower. And the only thing that I know that helps that for me is to break my thought process, is to do something different, which is why I made a snow angel in the snow. It was so fun. I had the biggest smile on my face. The neighbors were driving down the street. I'm like, they're going to think I'm crazy. My husband thinks I'm crazy. I got to throw a few snowballs at him. That was fun. Do something different today. And whether it's you dress differently, or you go outside and you make a snow angel, or you take a different way home. That's another big one for me, because I have routines. Like I drive the same way every time. I break out of those routines, and it changes my brain. It physically, like literally changes our brain. And so if you're feeling any of that winter blues, that kind of let down after the holidays, and if if you live in the Southwest, you don't know what winter is. I know for us in Phoenix, I'm like, it's sunshiny here today. But even then, there's still some kind of letdown after the holidays, and kind of getting back into a groove of things and all that. And so maybe you need to do something different today. Maybe you need to step outside the routine and do something different. Anything. Whatever it might be. It might feel crazy at the moment, but I promise you, you will feel better afterwards. I felt like I just was joyful. And I thought, this is kind of silly. When I looked out at the snow and I thought about the snow angel, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to ask my husband to, film this. And I didn't want to go in the backyard because the dogs go out there. And so I had to go to the front yard. And I'm like, the neighbors are seriously going to think I'm crazy. And I'm like, who cares? At this point in my life, who cares? Let them think I'm crazy. But I felt so much better afterwards. And so I want to encourage you to do something different today for yourself and for your art. Take a risk. Don't play it safe. I've played it safe far too long in my life. And so do something different today. Do it for you. Do it for your art. All right, my loves, let's go on an adventure and see where this goes. One thing I want to tell you really quick. Today is the last day for the open doors for the membership. So today is the last day that you can become a member until August of this year. So just a reminder, that'll be in the email. I'll have that information down below, the weekly email. If you're a subscriber, you get a weekly email and updates to all the things that are going on. But there's also the information down below in the video. And I think that is all I have to tell you. All right, my loves. I hope your Sunday is restful and peaceful. And I hope if you're feeling kind of, do something different today. And it'll bring a smile to your face, I promise. All right, let's go on this adventure right now. Have a wonderful Sunday, and always, always know that you are loved.